Hey everyone, I hope you're taking it easy and your day has been great thus far. For this video we'll be continuing through our retrospective unbagging of Imperium with issue number 51. And as for Imperium's part of the Warhammer 40,000 setting, and in terms of this particular issue release, for Australia anyway, this came out back in 2023. So we're a few years behind at least going through Imperium, hence why it's a retrospective, because it's well and truly out of print. But also in saying that, I do know other countries to get Imperium even before us. So, okay, straight into the retrospective. So front of the issue, of issue number 51. So apparently we have the Raven Guard front and center, which is always nice to see, going through and cycling through different First Founding Legion / chapters. In terms of this issue, there will be 2 paints included, which isn't too uncommon. And as for the contents, more information about the Raven Guard chapter, how to use these 2 new paints, and from a mission perspective, looks like we'll actually be doing battle with or against the Necron Royal Court. In this issue, so in terms of the actual unit information, so there'll be the Scorpic Lord, Plasmancer, and the Crypto Thralls, which are actually provided through issue 50, which is obviously the issue before this one, thanks to the Royal Court sprue. In terms of the actual story side, so we do know about the Raven Guard, and there'll be a story about War and the Scrap Heap. I'm not sure who that's about. At some point in time I'll have to play catch up. From a painting side, there'll be some Space Marine highlights, no doubt using these 2 new paints that are included. And then from a play perspective, the Scorpic Lord, Plasmancer, and the Crypto Thralls, we'll have some data sheets, and then the actual scenario for Destruction Impact. So there's that. I just realized that is the Raven Guard iconography. Anyway, moving through. Scorpic Lord, so going through the actual war gear weaponry of the actual Lord, and it does look very imposing there. Followed by the typical battle record, which will allow you the opportunity just to make him a little bit more unique and thematic. Next up, Plasmancer, going through the war gear options once again, and the relevant battle record to once again make the character a little bit more unique and distinct. And then lastly, the Crypto Thralls, and another battle record there. Raven Guard, Sons of Korax, so there will be some sentences here probably describing what the Raven Guard are like. Very nice image here of the Raven Guard, predominant black armor with the red trim and white iconography. A little blurb about aerial assault, which to be honest is aligned to the combat doctrines of the Raven Guard. Caven Strike, who at the time would have been the chapter master, who's now been succeeded by Athon Shan, if I remember correctly. So yes, this was a few years ago, back in the day, when 10th edition was pretty much in its prime. And there's a bit more information here, well, some story information from the perspective of Caven Strike. War in the Scrap Heap, so it looks like with some Orcs and Death Corps of Krieg, which is a little bit funny given that we're currently going through the Armageddon 11th edition release. How to paint, Space Marine highlights. So it's pretty much using the 2 new paints included. One will be Dawnstone, and the other will be Pallid Witch Flesh. So, in terms of the final gallery with those 2 new paints included, so adding a bit more colour here and there. Still far from perfect, but definitely looking a lot better than when they were just plain blue, especially for the Ultramarines. Data sheets for the Scorpic Lord, tutorial on some of the attributes of the Lord, the Plasmancer, some tutorial stuff once again for its attributes and abilities, and the crypto thralls, likewise tutorial. Lastly, Unbound Destruction, the scenario here between the Necrons and the Imperium via the Adepta Sororitas. And there we have the scout mission, Death in the Dockyards. So we'll go through the two forces in play, how to create the battlefield, the objectives, etc, etc. Usual splash page for Imperium. And then lastly, on the very back, we have the coming soon preview. So issues 52 and 53 will be a two-parter issue for the Triarch Stalker, which does look very, very cool. Have no idea how I would field one, but that's besides the point. So collectively between those two issues, learn how to build, learn how to paint it. Stratagems apparently will start coming in play, it looks like in issue 52, the preview as well. So next two issues will definitely be quite interesting. So that was issue 51 of Imperium, at least what is left of it. The two layer paints here, so to my right, well, here we have the Pallid Witch Flesh, and then the Dawnstone. So both are still perfectly sealed, since I've only just unsealed the actual bag today. I can definitely see there's fluid in there, but given that the paint has definitely started to separate out, both basically will require a good amount of mixing to remix the paint, liquid, and everything in between. Now, let's put this back, and then we're actually going to do one little extra thing. Doesn't matter which one goes where. Okay, so there's the issue 51, and the two paints included. Now, issue 51 was actually the last issue of the 4-issue block. So as I usually do when this happens, I just do a running comparison of the costings of Imperium, basically what I paid for as a subscription versus what I could have paid at Games Workshop direct prices. Granted, I haven't factored in for inflation, so things are probably a little bit higher than what they would have been circa 2022, 23, 24. Anyway, from a subscription perspective, this was about 1,020 Australian dollars, going up to issue 51 with no extra issues, and was just solely the subscription. So definitely not too bad for 51 issues worth of paints, models, terrain, brushes, tools, etc. So $1,000 on Warhammer feels like absolutely nothing at all, which is actually really good. That's the subscription cost at issue 51. Likewise, at issue 51, if I was to buy the paints, the models, tools, etc. at Games Workshop direct, give or take, factor in inflation, the retail pricing would have been just under 3,100 Australian dollars. So I've effectively, for a third of the price, gotten everything. Big win in my perspective, especially, you know, a few years after the fact. So it's really nice to see that the subscription for Imperium, you know, paid for itself. Not twice over, but potentially thrice over. Granted, there's still another just shy of 40 issues to go, so that ratio could change. It could become a quarter, maybe. But we'll definitely see that when we get closer to and finally hit issue 90, which will probably still be in several weeks' time. But there you go. By issue 51, I got everything for a third of the price. Simple as that. With that price comparison done, issue 51 looked at, two paints had a quick squeeze. Pretty much going to wrap it up there. So thank you very much for watching this unbagging retrospective video. Feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. It does help support the channel, I do appreciate it. Feel free to check out my Instagram and the YouTube community tab. I can actually confirm There is, as of this recording, there is 40k content. It is predominantly going through the Marine side of the Armageddon box, but it's a start. At some point in time, I'll probably need to pivot and actually try and pick up my Emperor's Children and just accept the fact that I just need to put them together. Yeah, there's a backstory to that. Maybe another time. Anyway, with that being said and done, stay safe, take care, and I will catch you all in a future video, whether it's something 40k related on the channel or something else. See ya.